The Sarlacc Digest, the long-running live stream podcast digesting Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. Join them for all the latest news, rumors, and theory crafting with none of the drama or the bullshit. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And don't forget the Sarlacc Toy Chest, covering all the newest Star Wars toy releases and news from Hasbro, Hot Toys, Jakks Pacific, and more. Live every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there and keep it nerdy.
PlasticNews.com. All the latest from Hollywood. Toys. Gaming. Comics. And anything pop culture. PlasticNews.com. Don't forget the IQ. PlasticNews.com.
He was the first person to say, "We should put comic books in plastic cases and grade them." He told George Lucas to hold on to the merchandising rights, and 3 3/4 would be the perfect scale for the figures. When the owner of Playmates Toys asked him how to compete with the big guys, he gave him his extra copy of TMNT #1. He is the most important collector in the universe.
I don't always need a grail, but when I do, I go to holygrailtoys.com. Keep hunting, my friend.
You're watching a Syndicate program.
Hey, well, good morning and good afternoon. It is Friday, March 20th. It is 10 a.m. over here on the West Coast. I am your lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, along with Alexander Thunderous Storm. Mr. Storm, how are you doing today, sir?
Doing good, actually. And I saw that Commander Blyer put up that, yep, YouTube did delete the first chats. I saw that last night when I was doing some SEO work. A bunch of chats were in there, and now they're not there. And thank you guys for doing that early, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know we've reached out to them to find out why you can't comment on lives before, but this has happened to us a couple other times too. So if you left comments, we're sorry. Not sure what that's about. We have a crazy show to talk about. I think everyone's favorite subject is the con of all cons. But it is going to be well, it's gonna be an interesting conversation because you and I have heavy hands and heavy hearts about that.
Yeah.
This is Good Morning Toy Box. It is March 20th, and we'll be right back.
I just wanna have fun. Come and pick me up, meet me at the spot. Up all night till the sunrise. Pop back cool, get ready for the ride. Gonna feel good. Gonna feel good.
Well, I always feel good after that.
It's always a morning, isn't it?
Yeah. So what do we got in store today? What is happening?
Yeah, well, we got to, obviously, if you've been under a rock in the toy collecting world, then you definitely don't know that the Walmart Collectors Con has been taking place for the last 2 days. Today's day 2 of it, and it's going to be the last day of it. And also, there's Mattel Creations. They did a live stream, had a bunch of toy tubers on yesterday. So, but we're going to run down with day 2, and so we're going to drop that early so you guys can actually, if you need to open up another screen and go over there and try to see some orders, you can. And we're going to give you highlights of what's day 1, but most of this you got to watch Pixel Plastic Inc. It'll be a lot more descriptive and a lot more in depth tonight when we go through all the aftermath after everything all closes down. We got some G.I. Joe Classified dropped some stuff on us this week. Action Force. That's right. Bobby Balla's Action Force actually had a offering that's still up and still available. Mezco dropped some stuff. Transformers gave us a combiner. Marvel Legends gave us a 2-pack. Again, like we said, the Mattel Creation events. We're going to break down some of the highlights, and what people are saying was underwhelming, and I will have to agree with that. NECA is starting their haulathon. Day 1 too. Everybody picked this week, did they not? They picked this week for events.
Yeah, they're like, well, we might as well just keep going. Yeah, everyone definitely picked today.
Yeah, Hybrid Toys has a your pre-window on something is ending, so we're gonna let you guys know what that is. And then Lenny from the GI Joe team, Weather Dominator, over on Instagram, gave some actual test images of the Snowcat. If you didn't pick that HasLab during the summer, well, you can take a look at that and see if you're going to regret or not. We're going to run down with the Syndicate Discord and network updates. We got to let you know there's always something going on there. Upcoming events is updated and everything. We got some stuff that's working on. And if you watch their Wednesday show, next Friday we will be in Toy Atlanta. So there's a good chance because, we're flying out instead of Thursday night, we're flying out first thing Friday morning. So it will probably be a pre-recorded Good Morning Toy Box for the first time because, obviously Delta's not going to allow us to stream on the plane that we're
going. We might be able to be in the chat though. I don't know.
Yes, we'll have to see.
Also, even if they could, they'd be like, what are these two guys doing?
Exactly. And then after that, we got a preview of tonight's Pixel Plastic and Ink. Oh, it's going to be good. And then we got a preview of a Saturday live stream that's starting. So once a month live streams, kind of like what we said, like a virtual book club of all things. So we got that worked on. That announcement was early in the week too. So, hey, you want to hit let's hit up the mailbag this morning and see what we can actually roll through. Let's go. We'll hit the first comment up is from Michelle Lobisi. Again, there were more comments, but YouTube did cut it off and everything. So I guess we're going to take this out of context because I'm sure it says second. There's probably a first part to it. But here's looking for a cameo of Miles and Ghost Spider figures. I feel they'll save them for the last to reveal. It's one comic book I own, which is good. Where Ghost Spider saves Miles from the multiverse father. Okay. All right. Well, that's kind of cool. We will jump into Sir Green Lantern. Greetings, citizens, salutations, fellow toy nerds.
What's up,
going
Green
on?
Lantern? Welcome.
And he was first because we did see it. But good afternoon, good morning, and everything. Star Wars and Bruce giving us a wave and everything. Also, and actually, point two says, "Good day, everyone." Toy Friday. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We got Doctor in the house. Good morning, Dr. Brentley. How you doing, sir?
Of the Brentleys. In case your collection is sick, hit up Dr. Brentley. He can fix it.
Absolutely. We've got right there the Max Rebo experience. Always experience having him in the chat. Happy Friday, everyone. Judge Dredd and everything. So that as I woke up and yay, it's the good morning. It always is when you wake up.
When you wake up, it's a fantastic day.
It always is. We got Darth Moocher. That's right. Darth Moocher is actually in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to have you in and everything else like that. We've got, again, some people skipping. My man's tripping with toys. And good day. He does let us know we were going to mention that this morning. The great Chuck Norris did pass away. And, sad to hear that news and everything, especially a guy that was tied all the way back to Bruce Lee. But, wow, what a life, So we're going to celebrate that as much as we can. And let me see. I see anybody else new that's popped in or anything. I want to make sure I'm just
It's Chad.
up. I see it right here. He's at work. I'm sure. Okay, I'm here. Hey, always.
Yeah. Well, hey, now the party can begin. So that's
We're gonna roll in. So hey, from that, everybody else do is a couple of key things. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, and most definitely, if you're new here, subscribe. And we'll start off with thanking our channel members because you guys do all this and everything. The Shadow Elite, the Syndicate, and the Prospects. We appreciate everyone that is a channel member. Love to have that situation. Thank you so much and everything. And then also I'll hit up one more from its chat that says, "Yeah, Sunday I'm going to do a special TGIS
yes.
celebrating Chuck Norris instead of gaming stream." Wow, that's definitely, you guys. Make sure, if you guys haven't, make sure you're going over to his chat channel and subscribing to his channel too, because you most definitely want to have that and everything. And also my man TD, 3 Troopers. What's up, my dudes? What's up, sir? How you doing? All right, well, man, hey, it's week in review. Let's get this thing rolling this morning. Oh yeah, the week in review. Love this part, don't you, man?
I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff that happens. What's great is that if we didn't catch it, someone will point it out in the chat. So
absolutely, that's what I love my chat for. And also, again, the guys that thought of Good Morning Toybox review all the toys throughout the week and everything, like I like to see ingenious, right?
Yeah, it's probably Steve. It's probably Steve did it.
Everybody is Steve. We're rolling up. Okay, give you guys a little bit of alert, actually, as you know, and everything. We're out here 7 a.m. this morning. Somehow they start these cons when everybody's trying to either get to work, doing something, or kind of going out and everything else like that. They're doing a little too much. But the Walmart Collector Con started yesterday, and there was already controversy from that. But today, just in case, there's a couple of items here. So we're going to see if you guys want some. So again, open up that second screen if you need to make that order, or the app on your phone. You can do it either or. But they've got some Star Wars helmets, and I know they've done this in the past. They've had the larger ones, and I know they had little small ones, and we've kind of seen this kind of trend. But I kind of like this. I don't like the pricing. I think the pricing's a little bit too much, but it is kind of cool to have something that maybe you work in an office and everything, you want something distinctly your own. You can put this on. It does take up a lot of room. So they've got obviously the Mandalorian, and then they got the Stormtrooper. So, and they're calling it the Black Series, which I know Darth Moocher, he'll comment in the point that he always has a problem where they should probably call it something else. Then if you're in Transformers is doing something where they kind of got you, because they had this theme this week and everything. Now the World Cup is coming to the United States. So, Mattel said, or Hasbro said, hey, we're going to cash in on this. And yes, they did. So they've got an actual soccer ball that transforms into that. I don't know, chat. That one it's not gimmicky enough for me on that one. It's not working. I like the helmets that they did. Yeah. This is it's not working for me, man. What do you think?
I don't know. I just don't know. That's all I can say about this one is I mean, I'm sure that there is an audience for it. But when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes himself down 6 feet underground. Yeah,
he does.
He also didn't die. He just looked around and said, "I'm good," and then left. So that is Chuck Norris. The Hidden, what is up? Welcome in. I don't look. I think the football helmets for the Transformers, cool. I got it. I just don't know about this one. I understand it. There is something for everybody. However, this is definitely not for me. I will say this though. I do really like the scale of the Black Series helmets. I think they're cool. I think you can get more on a shelf. The helmets are no for me, dog. Yeah, I mean, I would not get them. I'm just saying I like the size of them. But yeah, concur, no helmets. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Judge Red said didn't want anything from Walmart and everything. That's very good. And again, we're going to have this roll through, and we're telling everybody go ahead and do it because we know it's merited. Chuck Norris doesn't sleep; he waits. There you go. So let's get our tributes in because God knows that was like the biggest thing that happened for him towards the tail end of his career.
There will never be another thing like that.
No, I don't think anybody will get that kind of acclaim, and I'm sure he greatly appreciated that well through his lifetime too. But again, great career. If it was, Texas Walk the Ranger actually is a reboot of that lasted on the CW for a while. Again, his Expendables appearance that you knew you had to have. So yeah, keep putting them in the comments because definitely let's celebrate his life today and everything. There it goes. It's a football, not soccer. I know, Max Rebo, but
okay,
we're Americans, and we just we think of our football as somebody smashing their head into another.
Yeah, animal. It's like we spell color different, we spell football different.
Exactly. We might not be right, but damn it, we're the only ones who care about what we're listening to. Right here, also here's another I see Hasbro cash grab for the 250th anniversary. You got the deluxe Star Eagle and the red, white, and blue colors and everything else like that. I look again. I got to give them credit. They were just like, "What the hell can we repaint?" It's in Walmart. It's not like they said, "Let's design something new." What can we repaint and send over to Walmart? It's cool if you're into that. I know it's probably going to be one of those obscure things. It's probably going to be worth something because it's 250th anniversary. So, and then of course, Jurassic World, the one thing that I will say that Mattel gets right is the Hammond Collection dinosaurs. They look great, but here's what I'll say. Don't always go run out and get it $42.94. Every time we've gone to Walmart or Target, we've seen these on clearance. If not, they show up at a Ross.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think
this one in the syndicate, it was noted that this released early as well. So
yeah, again, we'll talk about that on the next slide because something's weird about this one. And obviously, Master of the Universe, Masterverse Vintage, they got Beastman up there, and that's up for pre-order. So and that one actually, as I checked this morning, that was still up for pre-order, so it wasn't in danger of you losing that. Usually, that doesn't really go that much and everything else like that. Yeah, Ross, Walmart, Con. Yep. And it's like, yeah, no, never. Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, so we will jump in. So that's day 2. So if you do one of these items, open up a separate screen or go on your cell phone, Walmart.
I did put the link to Walmart Con.
There you go.
In the chat earlier. So
there you go. So you don't need Scully for links. There you go. But day one was in someone else's opinion. They would say it was a show. And they use a different explanatory word, but it's early in the day, so we're not trying to do that. But this is the same thing they did. I wrote an article up for Plastic News on this because it's just one of those things. It gets on my nerves, man. They do it time and time again. I thought Duke would be a little bit highly sought after, even though I thought they were coming up with the 250. It's a repaint. They didn't do anything really different other than change certain things of the artwork and the character, but I had a feeling that this one, due to it, because it had that whole designation, would do it. That sold out within seconds. That was like, it was on the site 30 seconds later, you couldn't even find it. There was nothing but a problem from that, and every part of it was you couldn't see or couldn't even purchase it. The link was opened, and it was over. It was fairly quick, man. So I can't read that with my glasses off, Chet. You want to read that?
It says, got my Obi and Airborne already from Walmart Con, which is good. And then Max Rebo says, Hammond Collection goes on clearance, but if you miss it, it's 5 times more on the secondary market.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And Mattel does make cool dinos. Look, at this, I missed Duke, and then missing Duke, I realized that I just wasn't going to buy into Walmart Con. This I actually had the Night Creeper in my cart, and I was getting ready to check out. I had one for me and you, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just wait because I also real quick remember that Walmart takes the money out, and it's
that's what I don't like.
It's like there's a certain I have a certain level of expectation that that Duke packaging needed to be better, and he needed a flag. Yeah,
He
I
did.
actually have him in the Lord scale with the flag. So I have an issue with Walmart taking money out before it ships, and I
I
think
do.
it's because it's just such a big company. They don't need to do that. And what people don't understand, and everyone that watches or has been watching understands that I love the business side of the industry. When they take your money out before they ship a product, understand that they're doing that and just getting the interest off your money. So leave it in your account and let it make interest on you. Now I know Commander Bly is going to be a big proponent of letting Walmart make interest off your money. We know he's going to. He loves that. But I decided that while I wanted actually all three of these, well, I didn't want the Star Wars one. Sorry, but I wanted both of these. I decided like what, we'll just do the hunt and we'll wait and see what shows up. And chances are Scott Solo will probably just magically
That's what I
walk
said.
into a building and find 30 of each of these on a peg. So,
Yeah, he usually always has that. Hasbro should have sacked up and made the that 250th Duke like Evil Knievel. He should have done something. Again, I Star Wars and Bruce say this was very much true. Should have came with American flag. It should have been something like the G.I. Joe the movie opening, where he should have came. If you're gonna do something, add a little something. Don't just if you're repackaging, repainting it, right? Then you had room to add in a little something. A little American flag would work, but I know them. They probably also wanted to sell it internationally, and they kind of put that stuff in. So that kind of always kind of gets you to the next level on that one. Is TD3 Trooper. Chuck bled a drop of blood once. It landed in the semi truck, and Optimus Prime was born. Now that was a good one. That was a good one. And it's like, oh, all right, the hitting, no problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you for popping in. Appreciate it. Like I said, we know, like I said, again, some people are at work and every day so that you're listening. We thank you for that. The only G.I. Joe I want is the skull masked dude. Oh, all right, yeah, okay. That's the special ops. And actually, Judge Dredd, I was in a couple of a Facebook group over at the G.I. Joe. I think it's G.I. Joe community. But they showed there was some guy in Southgate, California here, and he was at the local Target, and he had like 10 of those on the shelf, and they hadn't said they were releasing those. So he was able to, he took a photo of it, and then everybody was blowing up in chat, and a couple other people were finding that special ops version of the G.I. Joe Legacy character that's hitting the market. So we'll see. But anyways, again, already gone. So Duke, again, that's one where if they happen, they sell out. I would say just give it a little shot. It may pop into Walmart or it may pop back up again. It's happened time and time again with them. And then they've had the right here, the Night Creeper itself. Yeah, that's sold out online. Also, I will point this out too. Duke is sold out also in Hasbro Pulse, and also the Night Creeper is as well sold out on Hasbro Pulse. So chances are you're going to get this from Walmart. They'll pop in later on in a month or two. You might have the opportunity, or throughout the day they may come through. So don't worry about that. Then he had a vintage collection of Obi-Wan in the actual Stormtrooper and or Clone Trooper, and that one too. It went up, automatically gone. So the basic main three items that Hasbro did just kind of like flew off the shelves, man. So it was really like, there's doesn't matter how much you refreshed and everything. I'm seeing some people like, hey, things worked out good, things didn't. I didn't get this, I didn't get that. It kind of just sucks, man. It's like I don't know how you can't get these things right with Walmart and Target, and you come up with these events. And I think for me, it's like what you do is you hurt the consumer, and then you put a bad taste in their mouth to want to consume from you.
Yeah.
So and I know Mexico does the same kind of thing too, and I will let's see, the chat's rolling and everything else on that. And let's see. The only G.I. Joe I want, actually I think I actually read that. Sorry about that. There you go. The 112 Lord Skull, I agree. There you go. He's got that down. Yeah, Moocher not even. Yep. They're saying, yeah, I only buy the in-stock Walmart because I don't keep money in the bank and everything. That's a good point to actually do. Walmart wants to keep your money. I know that
I
now.
think nowadays no one keeps money in the bank because you gotta have it to keep it in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Crowdfund and HasLab it does the same. Yep, they do. Let's see, Darth Moocher. Also, I believe that if you pay through PayPal, they don't take the money until it ships. That might be good. I don't know.
Well,
We have to check
Moocher,
into
if you
that.
can't remember, I think that you should do a test and then let us all know because I
Yeah,
don't want to do that test.
exactly, exactly. And like I said, Real World Rhino got mine, but I was waiting for it. Got to be ready. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
I think it's Chad said the false scarcity is intentional to motivate customers to want it more. It's not sold out whatsoever. It's BS psychological tactics, or as it's Chad says, that's some bullshit.
Uh,
So yeah, that's
save
true.
his catchphase for him, man.
No, I am, but I just he said it there, so you gotta send him a link to the. I'll send him a link to the show. You can jump on, and say it, and then bounce. I did hear this though. They did go up. They did go up 5 minutes early. I know. I know at least Duke went up 5 minutes early.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't. Yeah, I think that the Night Creeper did too. So yeah.
Yeah, or somebody found the link and did it as usual. There you go. There you go. Now,
see, his is that's that, and I said that's some because I didn't want a copyright strike against Chad. Yeah.
Yes, I think the Vintage Collection 2-pack dropped a little early, but I also think that it didn't instantly sell out. It didn't instantly sell out, but it was. You can almost say almost instant because it went real quick. So it kind of sucks because I do know it's the one offering that they do, and I much rather have the Target aspect of it because at least the Target you've got a greater chance of finding it on the shelf possibly.
Also,
you're never going to see the shit on the shelf.
If you pre-order on Target, they don't take your money out either. So
true.
That's why I'm fine with Target pre-orders.
But if you walk into a Target, you might be able to find it on the shelf a little bit easier. Walmart doesn't stock anything. And I know we got to talk about this on Friday or Sunday. They're doing the first editions. They're supposed to be dropping that out for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, the Black Series figures. We're going to go to a couple of Walmarts. I know Tommy over at Bliss Transmission, Scott Solo, a bunch of guys. We're going to do a big collab video to see if we can find it. Now, Tommy did find some of the standard editions out early yesterday, but we'll see how that works too. But again, but this is the one thing. At least we're going to see if we find more things at Walmart and Target. I usually, and I know you will say the same thing, we find more stuff at Target than you ever do finding stuff on the shelf at any of our local Walmart. And I think we got like 5 or 6 around us.
Yeah, and they're not good.
Yeah, no, not at all, not at all. Let's see. There goes. Yep, I posted the TVC link on the Discord. Collectors help collectors. And they do. Thank you, sir. Definitely do. And Judge Dress says this, and we always do say it is literally called a con. I know. You would think it'd be in the point of what we're saying. So here's one thing that we did do day one, which I don't know about this confusing because this is the thing that first he said this was a collector's con thing, and then they said it's not a collector's con thing. This was the damnest thing to find. I think it actually was out of most of the Motu stuff. I thought it was extremely interesting. I was even on the fence because I like the glow in the dark feature on it. But be damned if I can find this, brother.
Yeah, I would have bought this. I can't find it anywhere.
I couldn't find it on the site. I don't know if they put it up for order because I saw Scully in our Discord saying, hey, they downgraded this. This is actually not a collector's con exclusive. It's just a regular release. I couldn't find it whatsoever on any of the sites or anything, but on all the news feeds, they show, yeah, it's supposed to. So I don't know what happened to this, but I don't know if this was Mattel screwing up and, whatever, because I know they had a lot of things on their minds. But if you guys find this on the shelf, this is kind of cool. It does glow in the dark. A little interesting. So, I know also I'm pretty sure that our buddy Darth Moocher, who's not only collects Star Wars, but he does some motu stuff. I'm curious to see what his opinion on this is. But if anybody finds a link to it or something else, let us know, because this was kind of like the weird thing in the entire convention. So again, join us on Pixel Plastic tonight. We're going to go really in depth for it. We'll have all the breakdowns, and there'll be a much more stuff that we actually didn't put here that you'll get in for there. From also right here, we've got the classified stuff in the weekend. Actually, funny thing too, we were talking to its chat last night about my man Rocklaw right here. That was a very interesting selection. I think they dived in deep when they went in with the this was one where it seemed like they tried to pull out something from the old GI Joe end of the line kind of thing. I don't know if it quite worked. I the dinosaur is cool. I don't know if you needed this at this point in the line to just drop this stuff, but I will say the Xana with the skift, somehow this should have been for Zartan, and because I think that people are gonna buy multiples of this for the actual for the skift, and they probably don't really want the character. This maybe could have been one they could have just released without a figure, and I think it still would have done good, because you would have had all the dreadnoughts and you would have bought one for each of them. This was a missed opportunity, right? Don't you think, Chet?
Yeah. Look, this is the this is where it's different, right? I liked both of these releases. The dinosaur one's rad. It reminded me a lot of Dino Riders. I get why people don't like it. I'm totally fine with it. I understand it. I liked them. I think the Xania one, I think they could have done a little bit more with the skier. I think that it needed a little bit more like detail, like make it kind of like dirty or something. I don't think I've ever seen anything in the swamp that clean. So
yeah, got a point about that.
Yeah. So definitely want that. Yeah. I think that these are both really cool figures. So it is what it is. I do understand the argument with the Dino Rider GI Joes. But hey, it's just unique. My shelving for my figures, I don't really have rhyme or reason. I just have things set up based on like uniqueness and like what I think looks cool. But I get it. These you could also maybe play the waiting game. I think that there's a high probability some of these will show up in other places. But
here's the thing. I know if you go over to Amazon, they are. If we haven't told you that, sorry about that. You can actually go over to Amazon. They are available. Both characters are available. But if you're Hasbro Pulse, they're not there. I'm sure some will come back, but the Amazon one, they're not showing any steam or slowing down for these. Price range though is up there though. $59.99. I don't know about that. And the $51.99 for the Rock Claw and the actual his dinosaur.
Look, I think that these prices are going to have to drop.
Yeah.
Once Mattel starts dropping like crazy good figures for way cheaper, like it's I don't know.
Yeah, true. Let me hit up let's see. I definitely want to try and see get Darth Moocher's comment right here. Something like that. Heads wraps Professor Rocklaw with Star-Lord. Head swap. I'm sorry, swap. Yeah, that might be kind of cool. Darth Moocher actually saying, I love it. I only collect the origins all the time, but I think there's room for more motu. Okay, I just wanted to know, because I know he actually does that. Sergeant Bruce says, yeah, Skid has no paint. Yep, does not. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, Big Boa and Croc were about 44. Absolutely. And he had big animals. Well, Croc killer Croc did. He had a huge one. So Big Bo was just big, and he came with the a couple of different hands and everything else like that. But yeah, I think they're kind of like jumping up in price and everything else like that. Indeed, sir. They are both cool figures. Green Hair and Dinos on a Leash. Awesome acquisitions.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, like, Crocmaster. There you go. Crocmaster. That's what it was. Yeah, I saw that too. So would you recommend waiting to buy this? No, no, if you really want it now, I think you should buy it now because I do think there's going to be a problem later on in secondary market.
They sold out really quick on Hasbro Pulse.
Yeah.
But they are still on Amazon. They sold out pretty quick on Hasbro Pulse. I can get you the Amazon links.
Here's the thing with the Swamp Skin. I think that is going to, at one point or another, that's going to be hard to get up in the secondary market. And there's going to be somebody who's going to try to do 2 or 3 times just for this gift itself, not the character. So I think that character is going to be all over the place because people are going to buy multiples of this because, if you look at any of the Real American Hero cartoons from the 80s, that's how most of the Dreadnoughts and Zartan were introduced with that. So that's pretty desirable. Now, at one point down the line, should they do a multiple pack of this? I think it would be smart to put 3 or 4 different, skiffs in it. It would make sense. But if they're not, I don't know. I think this is a little bit. I think it was a missed opportunity. Basically, I think they should have done. Maybe the Night Force of Zartan with it. I just would have put Zartan with that, or maybe an updated, newer version of Zartan. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So
so I put both the links for these in the chat if you want to grab them.
And let's see, welcome in, Pretty Boy Floyd. G.I. Joe Classified / Hasbro should do a special Chuck Norris figure, rest in peace. You know what? They would. They should have done, they should have done it while he was here. I think if there's anybody that, if you got the Sergeant Slaughter, the Fridge, we've done Roddy Piper at one point, I truly believe that, he should have done at one time, the Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa character was supposed to be there, but there's some stuff that didn't happen on that. Yeah, I think they should get back to a little bit more real world. Zena will be the Hondo of 2026. Don't get the Mooch's way. Wow. Or Mooch just get it, boy. He's getting out. So we'll roll that in again. The sold out on Hasbro Pulse, still available over Amazon. Links were actually thrown into the chat. From there, everything Action Force.
This is a good reference to Expendables. You have the Chuck Norris figure called Lone Wolf. I'm all about that. Yeah,
I think they definitely should get away with that. You want to just let's hit up that the Judge Dredd. I think the Swamp's gear was sink in the real swamp. Oh yeah, most definitely. And one more right here. They are both squad builders, Swamp's gear, and a pack of dinos. Collectors are squad building those scorpions that went on clearance. Well, see, they did go on clearance too, though. I think that's also what made it a little easier. But we'll hit it up. Bobby Vallis knocking out some stuff. He was at ZoloCon and he premiered this character right there, and it sold out within minutes. It was a hard-hitting kind of dude. This is a modern-day take on a pirate. It's not from Ancient. It's basically part of the Action Force line. If you're not reading or actually purchasing the Action Force, go to Valorverse.com and check it out and everything. Again, toy makers. We usually have that shirt that says support independent toy makers. You should be, because these guys are actually, not everything in this is a non-risk. They're out there putting their ideas and lines out on the market. We should support it because we've seen these other major companies doing some stuff, and it's nice to see the little guys out here doing it. So at the price at $29.99, not bad. They are limiting this character to a character because they do want to get it into people's hands, and I think that's actually kind of cool too. Again, like the look, like the different hands. I like the actual base that it comes with. I know, if I wasn't mistaken, there was one that glowed in the dark, or is that supposed to come down later in the line, later in the year, a different alternate version? But I could have swore it was supposed, like the head was supposed to glow in the dark or something, right?
Yeah, I don't remember which one he did, but that was, there's a glow in the dark one.
I thought there was. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, look, I think he's a cool figure. And it's nice that he's still available. I checked this morning, still available on Valorverse.com. Head over there if you want to pick up this character.
Warforged JP over on another channel.
Yes.
Said that's Davy Pirate Guy from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, well, hey, there's always, I'm sure from even Pirates of the Caribbean, they got that from someplace. I'm sure there's some deep lore within it. Let's see, some of these other comments and everything else like that. Let's see. There you go. Star Wars and Brew. Because I got this. The Black may be a 2026 top 5. Wow. All right, there you go. This I like it early when people are like, this might be like in my top 5 before the end of the year, because at that point, you got the entire year to see if somebody can up that. And that's sometimes that's a very tall order, you know.
Yeah. So this one, there's a glow in the dark variant of this.
That's what.
It's 100 of them.
Okay, all right. I knew there was one that did that. That's kind of cool. I would actually appreciate the glow in dark variant. I always like those kind of different ones. I would be more interested in the pirates if they had a cool ship to go with them. Again, put your voices in whenever he's on. You never know what might happen from that. Let's see. Yeah, see, same thing too. We're getting this World Rhino Davy Jones. And this one has a glow in the dark variant. Thought so. Yeah, look cool. Yeah, kind of like the crystal ball. Although it looks like crystal ball. Funny that. Yeah, the one thing crystal ball, I think they on the with the classified ones, I think they kind of like lost the thing, not making the like the Ghost Reaper and a couple of those other characters they were using with glow in the dark features. I just thought it looks like it's like crystal ball. It would have been nice if that would have been a glow in the dark actual mold that he did for that whole, I guess the psychic kind of head kind of like vibe to it. But it's nice. It looks like it is, but it's not. But I think that would have been cool for that one. So again, go over to Valorverse.com. You guys want to pick that up? From there, Mezco's dropping some things. Hoods. Letterman right here. He comes with all kind of things. He's got looks like he's got some shoes on and everything. He's got his jacket and everything else like that. He's got a beeper that he comes with some sunglasses and everything. Mezco's also got the price where you can tell that he's worth something. $116. He's still currently available on the Mezco site. Look, I know they did another character I think it was earlier in the year, I think it was right in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he's waitlisted now.
So he is now okay, so as this morning, there you go. It goes without a point. I give credit. I think they do a great job on soft goods. This is not anything that again, 116, same thing with the whole Hasbro and the collector's con thing. They just make scarcity up an issue for this kind of thing. I think he's all right. Not something I'm going to actually go out and purchase and everything. I would be interested. I should ask Scully about this because I know he's big into Mezco. But what's your thoughts on this, chat?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is along the same lines. Like they're already doing the same type of theming with the mob guys. Yeah. So I think it's cool. I know there was one other one that they released for this. I don't remember what it is. Scully was talking about it. But hey, I mean, there's collectors for everything. Like I said, this is it's not something I would buy, but it's cool.
Yeah.
But you can't beat them on their soft goods. So
yeah, no. Again, it's interesting, but yeah. All right. Well, like I said, we'll see again, but it is on wait list now, so no longer available on the wait list. And that's also on the wait list, if I'm not mistaken, for Mezco. You got to put a non-refundable deposit, right? Not on the wait list. Okay. All right. So then we jump into Transformers: Age of the Prime. I know you were looking at this character right here, Chet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is combiners are a thing, man. I'm on the fence about it, but I think $89 is actually pretty cheap for everything that you're getting on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's Age of Primes. I tend to stay in the Studio 86 series, but at the same time, if it's a cool combiner, it's got my interest. Not my thing. I don't collect civilians. You know, is Storm picking up Letterman?
No, Storm is not picking up Letterman. And in fact, there's we were on like I know Chet and I's had a talk off screen that one of my buddies called me up about that. It didn't sit over too well. It's just he doesn't even collect toys and everything else like that. But I always love when somebody calls you up. It's like, hey, no disrespect to you, brother, but you collect toys and everything. Yeah, I don't care if you think it's disrespectful or not. But he had some choice things to say. But we probably maybe do it members only.
Yeah.
There it is, but he wasn't too happy with that Letterman scenario. I have to say that.
Yeah. Look, I think these are cool. I'm on the fence about them. I don't have an attachment to these. The only reason why I'm even contemplating it is because they are combiners.
Yeah.
And $89 for combiner. I mean, like the last few combiners they've done have been well into like $200-$300. So
yeah, true.
Letterman seems problematic.
Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. Again, Max, we will say that for members only one. We don't get political on the site, but he did call me a little bit pissed, and I was actually kind of shocked because I didn't even think that would even get in the spectrum of the world, but it did for some reason. But it only looks like 7 inches. Yeah, it doesn't look that big.
Actually. It is only 7 inches tall, but at the same time, it's Transformers, so that's still very reasonable for a combiner. So
yeah, it's a very small combiner. $90 for 5-core class. Okay, well, like I said again, everybody's got their thoughts and opinions on it. It's still available on Hasbro Pulse as of this morning or early this morning. But yeah, if you're in it, they've done. Combiners do usually sell on the open market a little bit better. So,
Judge Letterman is the name of that figure.
Yeah, it's not the David Letterman. That's just what they called their version of Letterman for that figure for Mezco. Yeah.
And we are going to do a members only video because the reason why they call him Letterman is very problematic. So just so you can see, this is it's part of the Hoods line that they've done, and he's called Letterman, and there'll be a members only.
Yeah, we got a members only that one.
Yeah.
So all right, when we jump into the next one right here, the 2-pack right here. I would say probably the best looking version of Black Widow. I've seen this, Quicksilver.
This is literally the same exact one that was on Retro Card, just with dark blue instead of green. So,
but I love the Black Widow, the paint scheme, and everything else like that. I think it's a great looking character. 2-pack. This is still available on Hasbro Pulse, $55.99 for both characters. Need Hasbro to make a Joe Mobat Transformer HasLab.
And then in response to our Letterman conversation, okay. Look, I like this 2-pack. I don't think this is a Moocher hostage pack.
No.
I love Black Widow. I think $55.99 is a little weird on pricing because you get 2 heads and 2 sets of hands for So I think it's a little weird on the pricing, right? Because we just saw $51.99 for a dinosaur and a Joe.
I know.
But again, you have to take into account there's no licensing fees for Joe, and there's licensing fees for Hasbro or for Marvel. So look, I love this Black Widow figure. Quicksilver, if you don't have the retro card back, this takes care of that for you. So whatever, it's cool pack.
All right, we'll roll on to the next one right here. Yesterday they did the Mattel Creations event. Had some toy tubers. They had Jay from Geekstad's Life, which I met, really nice guy. Pixel Dan, we had him on actually our Toy Atlanta cast right quick and everything else like that. And then Kyle Peterson, never met him before. Watched some YouTube videos, but they had them on, and also a bunch of other, I guess, toy influencers at one part or another. And then they just seemed to also have some random people they just pulled out of the street. It was kind of weird, it's a little bit, but you could tell it was done inside their El Segundo, California main office, but they had like a little section they made into a studio, and then they had obviously, what it reminded me of was when Hasbro did their I think it was the 1027 event, and he had like a DJ and he brought in everything, and it just didn't seem to work.
Well, yeah, it's you're you're bringing in YouTube personalities where more often than not are not functioning off the script and don't like to be told how to talk about toys.
Mhm.
So you bring them in an environment where you're trying to overproduce it. This was like, I love what Mattel does for the most part, but this is one of the most try hard events I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, and
Like
other than that
it
1027 event, I thought they
yeah,
really tried.
the 1027 event still is at the top, but this one
Yeah.
almost got rid of it.
Mhm.
And to be honest, it's just kind of like I just didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing that Scully said on the Discord was he said was underwhelming, and that was actually to be very kind. This is Underworld is underrated. Yep, I think it's that due to the question that Judge Red said I wanted Black Widow to make Underworld Celine, which is with somebody would have made some Underworld figs.
yeah.
I think they did make some actually, because I remember Kevin Grievous when I was talking to him, he was pretty upset about that they did make some. I don't remember. I don't know if it was NEC or somebody, but I do know they did make a couple of Underworld figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, look, I just think if you watch
Yeah.
if you watch how the show was kind of like flowing, there really
Yeah.
was no flow. And it's like, oh, here's like a motu release. Let's give Jay and Pixel Dan like a mic and let them respond to it, but then also try to tell them how to respond. And it is what it is. At least the one thing I will say is that at least Mattel is trying to get the active YouTube community involved in it.
Uh,
I give them that. So,
I won't. So I know you will. I won't. I think they got some they got some props from YouTube, and they didn't really let them be them. And I think that was the problem. They came on and they talked. They threw a mic in their hand, but it didn't seem like it was at all it just seemed very disingenuous.
well, yeah,
And,
I'm not
that
giving them.
was the hard part about it. Was I'm like, look, we've watched Geek That Life, and we've seen they have different personalities. They kind of just ran them for a segment. Hey, you want to talk about this right quick, and now get off camera. And at this point, you're like, that's it was the whole entire event was underwhelming. First of all, they had a couple of items. Mattel paid them to be there. I can understand them wanting to control the message. No, more than understand. Obviously, when you do anything for any kind of corporate entity, whatever it is, you're there. Yeah, you're there on your dime. There's a job to be doing. But if you're trying to appeal to the people that watch their channels, then you've got to do the research enough to see what makes them actually people want to watch them. And so when you have like two other hosts you had, and I think the two main hosts were lackluster, and it just was they were walking around. It seemed like a very bad version of QB of like with the Home Shopping Network.
Yeah,
It
yeah, like
really
but
it wasn't good.
but it was early day Shopping Network where they couldn't like figure it out. Real
Yeah,
Royal,
exactly.
the Real Royal Rhino says, "Tell me how you really feel, Mr. Storm. This is what I come for. Honest feedback, solid reviews right here." Yeah, I look at you. I think you probably just misunderstood what I meant by like I'll give Mattel credit.
Yeah.
They reached out to the YouTube community.
Yeah.
I 1,000% agree with you on it was hot trash, but they reached out to the community, right? That's where it's like, okay, but now just do that and let them be like let them be them, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they didn't do. And even to Commander Bly's point of like if they paid them, like I understand, sure, but send them that information ahead of time, let them read how to do it, let them send you what they want to talk about. That way it's like it's fresh in their head, they know what's going on, right? And then they can do it. And you should send them what you're going to be releasing because you're going to send them NDAs anyways based on the stuff they're going to see there. So
yeah,
I give them credit, and it stops as soon as they reached out to YouTube. The event was a try hard dumpster fire, but
Well,
like
here's the thing. Did you really even need them actually to be at the studio for what
you
they did?
didn't
They could
you
have just you could have just got them like online in their own environments and done it. And I think again, it's like you're wanting to get people for the audience that they represent,
well
but you
remember
didn't
though.
give them any kind of part to let their personalities shine through for their audience.
Yeah. Well, remember we're in a new business quarter, so if they can fly people out, it's counted as a
Oh, it's
business
true,
write-off.
true. That's
So you gotta
absolutely true.
see, you gotta
Uh,
like understand like how that shit
But
works.
even but even still,
But
curate it for something where it's like, don't have someone's personality there and then not use them. It's like if I'm gonna like, when like remember a couple of years ago when HBO Max they were gonna well actually it was the DC, I think it was DC Online or the DC Universe when there was the initial app and they brought Kevin Smith in
yeah,
and they did the whole thing. They had Jim Lee and everything else like that. And it just didn't seem like that worked. It was like it was a nice premiere, but they had like another co-host come in. And it was Kevin Smith, and it just is like that's not Kevin Smith. It just didn't feel like it was like you guys got you paid him some money, had to like have him read some cue cards and walk in, but you didn't take advantage of the real reason why people do like watching his podcast and enjoy him when he's in live and in person. Well, that's the same thing I thought with this one. Just give them room to be them, and obviously you're going to want to control the narrative. You don't want anybody to go off script, but again, you want their audience to pipe in, and you want to seem like you're like in the situation. It's since Shelly didn't have, look, bro, like it said, it's more than fine for Mattel. We don't look. You and I both have said this. We're not in the motu. If they would have asked us to come or something like that, first thing we would have said was, we're not knowledgeable enough, and we would have had to we do deep dives. If we're going to talk about something, we're actually going to do research on it. But I think it was look, I'm glad that they got paid to come out. I think it helped them with their audience. It helps these give a little bit more legitimacy to these YouTubers. You never know what opportunities come from that. Maybe like we know the guys that did the toys that made us. Maybe that gives them someone's doing a documentary or something and they hit up Pixel Down or something. It does help them. I just didn't. I thought they could have presented it a little better. What does Masalas look like live?
yeah, look, I get it,
He's just Sir Greenland was cold on that one. It's like, yeah. But and again, the reveals they did to get into that, like there was anything. I was like, wow, you've got all these great properties, and I just didn't see anything that stuck out to me that was great.
The problem with the Mattel event was after you spend an hour or hour and a half watching it, you can definitely walk away being like, what the hell did I just watch? And what did they release? So you could, in theory, just go through and skim through it on YouTube and still have the same effect.
Yeah.
There was nothing impactful. They were excited about Laser Cannon He-Man, which is like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But okay, you're excited about that. There is some like Monster High stuff, but you can tell that Mattel doesn't really put as much effort as they should into Monster High. It's like what would have been crazy is if they're like, check out these Monster High figures and these new Barbies that are 1/12 scale. You would have blown up the whole internet, right? But the Motu stuff is this. I love Motu for what it is because of the impact it had in the toy industry. But at the end of the day, like you just released He-Man again, right? And then we talked about this, and it's like, I think you said you saw it somewhere or someone had said something. This is just a Ghostbusters pack with a sword on it.
Well, that's what Jay from Geek did. He was in the airport, and after he had left the event, he was waiting in the airport, and he did an unboxing. And I thought that was more interesting than the entire event was.
Yeah. And yes, this is Eric Estrada. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get him in his Chips uniform. Yeah. Look, I just don't know what I watched. That's the problem. And then this is you and I were kind of going through it, just like researching and making sure we knew what we were talking about. This is the Mattel Bricks collection, aka like Lego. I don't know. I think maybe Moocher will buy this, but I don't really know a lot of
I
people that
thought
are going to buy it.
I know you purchased in the early part the vehicles that they did the cars, and I
Yeah.
thought that was kind of cool. But it's
Look, those the
once you have
bricks.
Legos, you don't need another entry into the market.
No, the bricks that they do for the vehicles are fantastic
Yeah,
because they do them in 1/12 scale, one like they do like 1/18 scale, but every one you get comes with the Hot Wheels version of that car. So that is cool. And the Mattel the brick collection is cheaper than Lego. That's the advantage.
mhm,
But I mean, you know,
yeah. Well, again, this one doesn't actually hit the market until April 25th at 12 p.m. I will say, like all things Mattel Creations, you don't have to run out and get this. This will probably be readily available because all the He-Man that they made a big deal over, he's still available up on the site. I think Mattel Creations, I understand their part. They thought they would do a Hasbro Pulse. I don't think it's worked out in any way. It just, other than Hot Wheels, I think in Monster
I
High, I think those are only two that really, and maybe Barbie too. Let me, I think that's it. But I think the other properties, and I think they had like what they sat down with like 15 new Uno games and everything.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Mattel is they spent more money than their ROI on that event
Yeah,
is negative. And then these
this is hot
are
trash, man.
these were like just pure
Yeah,
trash. And I know
yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh my god," blah blah blah. And it's like, look, this is an artist. He's a great artist, but this is something that just needs to stay on canvas. I got to get on the road. Have a nice work day. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for stopping by. But these are just pure hot garbage. You have to
yeah.
wait. They come out March 24th. I don't really know why you would buy these. Even if you,
If you're a fan of the artist, maybe
yeah, but
but
like what, but
I
what are you gonna buy this? This doesn't represent He-Man. Like it just doesn't make sense. What the hell is that exactly? Right?
yeah, yeah. It was like, yeah, this one. The minute I saw this, I was like, what? Yeah, hold on, it's like, and
Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter's
is just
just.
Star Wars with wands, and Home Alone is just Die Hard with a kid. Uh,
And Roman
sure.
said, I don't agree with that. I don't know. Green Lantern, everybody has their own opinion,
And
right now.
Avatar is just Pocahontas. So,
Yeah,
uh, Star Wars is more to me. It's a mythos for many kids.
yeah.
These are, I don't know, man. I know you were excited to buy these. What
No,
are you going to do when you
I
get
looked
them?
at this and I was like, first of all, I didn't even know who the artist was, and I don't know if they did a good job of like really, yeah. I the minute I saw this, I was like, what the hell is this? And then they showed, oh, it was this point, and I was like, are they trying to copy like the Ronin from Star Wars and kind of, and then not have any kind of like like reason to bringing it up, and then they just do this at the show? Like, did anybody ask for this stuff? You
There's
know?
a thing in art, right?
Yeah.
Where when you are working on an art project, if you go and look up this artist and look where they got the inspiration from these, this is a classic case of overuse of everything,
Yeah.
right? Like Skeletor just looks like exactly Reindeer Panther. And it just looks overused on whatever the hell it is they're trying to do with the red seaweed.
Yeah.
And then He-Man looks like he got beat up and has what is that Stockholm syndrome in a Barbie house.
Yeah.
So
I
this is
don't know.
this is
They
just
just
I
totally
just
killed Battle Cat for me. Like,
yeah.
it's like this. I don't this was probably there's now tonight if you pop on the Pixel Plastic, there's two other tigers technically that they're like another company's put out, and this will put this to shame. So you're gonna see two good tigers tonight. This is pretty bad. I don't know why they did this. I don't know who was in the office that thought of this idea, but I can tell you this will be readily available. This will not sell out, and somebody will probably end up losing their jobs for actually spending the amount of money on this because this like you I know this is a year of motu. Got a whole bunch of motu stuff out there.
Yeah.
You could have came up something a little bit better for another offering during the year. I think this was a waste of time and effort. So, no shame to the artist. The individual got paid to do that. That's great. I don't think this worked.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go there, and if you give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Look, this is, a Stone Cold figure.
And also, before we run through that too, I'm also looking through the thing. We see everybody on Instagram. Yes, we'll say that. Never else like that. Also, we know that people are watching from X. Thank you for coming in and everything. We see that. And hey, make sure you guys are subscribing. If you guys are on the other channels watching us, head over to YouTube and sub for us. We really that helps us grow, and growing's not bad. But yeah, we saw this. Now, here's the thing. This is the one line that I always say that they do right over at Mattel. They have somehow done a great job. I like this. I would have never thought of this as a release, and I'm glad they did, because it is a very good moment if you're into. I know wrestling figures are huge. A lot of people love them, and I also love them. And Shadow, every now and then when I talk to him, he loves them beyond belief. I like the chair. I like the crown. Even if you don't want to use Stone Cold, there's Booker T or a couple of people that's played the King. This is just a nice accessory pack. I think they did a great job. I think you never go wrong whenever you have Stone Cold out on the market, and I think the price is pretty good for this.
Where they went wrong on this is that they didn't give you a Jerry the King Lawler figure.
Well, there is a Jerry the King Lawler figure that you can have.
It should have been a double pack.
It should
because
but then you got to charge extra money, man. And I don't have a problem with the 35.
But it's still going to be cheaper than anything Hasbro releases as a double pack. And this is the iconic scene where Jerry the King Lawler presents him with this chair and all that other stuff. It just would have made sense. But whatever.
Well, again, I'm sure they're gonna use it. Once you do it, they'll bring it down and have him come with the chair, and you can reuse it.
You could tell this is the younger Austin as well, because he doesn't have the leg brace.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said again, I think it's great. It is available on the Mattel Creations website. Hey, this is one of I think I love the way they also come with the soft goods where you can put T-shirts on them and everything else, or whether they have their entire outfits and everything. Whenever you look at the Ric Flairs and everything, I think they do this great. This was something that should have been a little bit more represented with the time and everything they had on the Mattel Creations. I would have liked to see more of this. We'll jump in from there and everything. Every now and then we had a little short series we call Diecast Dreams, and yes, we represent the also people that love the diecast cars right now. And this one's interesting, Chet. I've never seen this anime. I just haven't had just a bunch of time to see it. But from everything I see, I think they did a great job with this collaboration on this.
There's another diecast line that does anime versions of cars, but this one, I'll be honest with you, I actually thought this was the highlight of the Mattel Creations show. This is where Mattel shows you why they are the king of diecast. It's a throne for Thanos or Doctor Doom, so I've heard. Exactly. This is great. I love Naruto. If you haven't watched the anime,
I haven't.
I like the original one. I don't really like the ones where they're all grown up. It's a relatively short anime to watch, and that's unlike One Piece that's over 1,100 episodes. I ordered the White Tiger y'all talking about. This is a cool collab, man. I like it. Naruto's a cool anime. It's fun.
Well, here's the one thing too. The aspect that you've got right, with the whole Fast and Furious, and we're seeing more of the these kind of cars hit the streets here in Southern California where we're at, or if you think also in Japan and everything. This just fit it. This wasn't you were trying too hard. This worked well within the line. Same thing we've been talking about, some of the pop culture things they've been doing over at with Hot Wheels. Somehow they keep making Hot Wheels relevant. It is the team over there does this correct. And even at 25, because everybody's like, well, $25, normally you're not paying that for it. But here's the thing, it comes with a designer case that he put it on, and then there's the packaging and everything. They do a great job with some of the Mattel Creation Hot Wheels that they've come out. I know a couple of years back I would tried to get the San Diego Comic-Con Knight Rider that they did that actually had the Larson beam in the front that went off. I just kind of like this, man. I think it's cool. The color, the paint scheme. This seems like something I would see, driving down the 91 or the 405.
Real Riot says, yeah, they took the concept of Chinese mythology and threw up on Mattel IP. Just a complete miss, in my opinion. Yep. And I've heard that as well. But I think like if you compare this to another company that did a Naruto collab, this is definitely a lot better. So and then Sir says
That's the one we're talking about.
the Fury Toys Tigers are awesome. Ordering both with full armor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, again, tune in tonight. You guys will be seeing. We're going to run those down. That is definitely in the point. I saw those. Like, oh, we're talking about this. You know. Let's see.
Anywhere between one and a lot.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Does anyone know how many different Hot Wheels have been made? I don't. Are you talking about like specific like
the entirety? I don't know. You probably
I don't know, but we will find out and get back.
That's definitely what has to be to. There's a cool right here in Riverside at one point or another. There's a pretty big die cast shop here that's pretty big in the Hot Wheels. I'm gonna have to go over there and check it out. I've been meaning to do that. Great series. This is available on the Hasbro Pulse site and everything. Or I'm sorry, the Mattel Creation site. Head over there and pick it up. $25. Not bad. Like again, I think it's kind of cool, especially in anime. Day one of the holothon. That's right. Everything. There's some kind of event or something else. Like if you know anything about the holothon, you know this. Chances are this stuff is probably already on the shelf 2 or 3 weeks before this thing took place. Or you'll get there and you can't find it, or you get there, they won't sell it to you. But the Target NECA Holothon they come with bags and everything. It's just another event. But I always state that I think the holothons are the overpriced-a-thon because NECA definitely be making that money, bro. So this one, they've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Usagi U symbol. And each one of these characters are for $37.99. Go over to Target website. I think Chet, are you checking on to see if they're still available or something? Because I know that stuff goes out quick. So but look, I'm always a fan of Usagi U symbol. I think he's great. I think it was a very good decision years ago to mix him with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Obviously I've seen these turtles before. So it's not like they're doing new ways of making turtles and everything. But the Usagi U symbol, I think that's kind of the bonus out there. If there's anything a hot pickup for this, it would be that character.
Yeah, these are great turtles, by the way. I think Matt Hatter did a review on them, and they were awesome. So if we click on them, Donatello's out of stock, Raphael's out of stock, and then Yojimbo's out of stock. Usagi's out. So really, you can get Leonardo and Michelangelo.
So that means that the aftermarket is going to be Usagi symbol is going to go for a bunch. My target is
these are ones where I definitely don't. My targets never heard of Holothon. Yeah. These are ones. Unfortunately, if I find them, I'll probably buy them because I actually like the way that these look. I think these are fantastic figures. More importantly, if I see Usagi, I will grab that without thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a great character right there. Again, so that's just day one. Now this event is going to go all the way back through. I think it's going to April 10th. So they're going to be dropping stuff. The drops every Friday. So got a couple of Fridays to go, but usually this is the one event where check your local Targets because chances are this stuff is probably already. They do a better job of this stuff is usually on aisles than online sometimes. So if you don't see it online, like Usagi Yuzumbo walk into the store, he may be just sitting on the shelf right there. So
yeah, a lot of I mean, like we've over the years we've realized that like online doesn't mean anything. They're in the store.
Yeah.
Usagi Yojimbo Rabbit bodyguard. Yeah, that's awesome. And his little dinosaur friend.
Saga's repaint, but turtles are a new mold. Okay, that's cool. Again, I think if you're a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it's always good to have different variants of them. And again, if you know anything about it, it's always good to have the other characters, Saga Yuzimbo or anybody else, Bebop, Rocksteady.
Yeah, I think this Usagi's a repaint from the space one they did.
Might be, but still kind of cool, man. Looking forward to it. And this is the rabbit looks the best.
Yeah.
I give him credit on that one. All right, we'll jump into this again. Hira, if you know again, if you know anything about me, I'm huge into kaijus and everything, obviously. And I just got that the Alamo Draft House version of Godzilla, the popcorn bucket. No popcorn we're ever going in that, but stay tuned for the Kaiju Files. There will be a review of that item on there and everything. And also, if you don't know, SH Figure Arts is a sponsor of SKN and the Shadow Nose Network. So we do love all things Kaiju. And I got to tell you too, one at Monarch, if you haven't been watching it, season 2, pretty good.
I just started it, by the way.
Yeah. Season 2, pretty good. But this one, if you're a fan of any of the older versions of Godzilla, this one's from the 2002 film, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. And this one, again, I think Hira has been slowly coming into the market, doing a bang-up job with some of their characters, especially like the G.I. Joes we've been seeing. They've got some other licenses that we'll show tonight. There's another Hira figure that's we've got for tonight on Pixel Plastic Inc. This looks great, just not my bag. Yep, again, you've got to get it.
Do you like the Haya figures? Like, are you?
I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel? How do you feel about the sizes? Right, because this is like 7.
Yeah, this is 7.7 or something.
Yeah.
Look, I don't mind because SH Figure Arts loved SH Figure. One problem with SH Figure Arts, either they're small or they're extremely large, and it's hard for you to put that on the shelf and everything. Oh, Kaiju, I can dig it. There you go.
Like Booker T.
And Super 7, I will have to say, is treating the Kaiju license okay. There's certain ones that are just complete misses, but they've got a couple of hits too. So I do give them credit for this. I've got a vinyl Mechagodzilla from Bandai, and I'm pretty sure it's great. Again, I like that he's back and forth in the public eye.
Shout out to Fig Fury over on Insta, says in via work Godzilla has Soki crazy figures out there. Stay awesome, guys. I think he means such, but welcome in, Fig. Be safe at work, brother. The vinyl, I prefer vinyl figures for Godzilla. I think it's way better. I'm not looking for like crazy articulated. I just hate how small Haya is. But they're all small. Yeah. Look, you couldn't do a proper scaling of. I mean, you could.
Well, there's a couple of SH Monster Arts. They go in different ranges, but like that King Ghidorah that we saw at like Frankenson's, there's no that's the entire shelf.
Yeah,
that's the entire top part of the glass case I have ordered the house at. So it's nice to have a smaller version of it. Or again, you make your workplace a little bit like personalized and Mechagodzilla or whatever. It's nice in different sizes and scales and everything. So, I'm a fan of Hira. I like the stuff they're doing with G.I. Joe. I think they're doing a far superior job with G.I. Joe than Super 7 is. So, I'm looking forward to seeing more things. But it is the cutoff window. You have until the 23rd, and then that pre-order's up. It's $119 if you were not in the United States. It'd be $99. I know people are saying because of the size and everything, 7, I'm going to pay that. Well, if you're paying for Mezco, you're paying for pretty much the same thing. So it just works itself out in a different way. But I kind of dig it. But we'll see. But I did order the Alamo Draft House Mechagodzilla popcorn bucket because I've got, with the regular soda, it's going to be 2. I don't know where I'm going to actually put that on the shelf either, man, because it's like we're running out of shelf space. But what did we say the other day? You'll just find a way of making room.
Yeah, just buy another shelf. That's what's great about our group. We get to share everyone's collections. Fire Skull. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and it says they need to be at least 12 inches tall. There's also again, get the SH Monster Arts and everything you can find. They go at different sizes. I love this. Say Pocket Kaiju, the other Pokemons allowed. Love the Hira scale Joes and all the monsters. I think they do a great job.
Dude, I gotta tell you,
Dredd has that King Ghidorah, and that thing is probably freaking huge.
I gotta tell you though, the Haya Joe figures, like, they're fantastic, right? So
detail and everything, man.
Definitely a shelf hog. Yeah, I think that's I think that's
Yeah.
a thing. So
All right. We'll pop in, and our last point of the day is that, if you did buy the G.I. Joe Classified HasLab from last year, the Snowcat, and now they've actually added the Arctic his tank, but my good friend did Chad point out it's not a tank.
I think
Yeah.
what's funny about this is people are going to comment and be like, "I thought you said it's going to be white."
Yeah. Well, see, what they've done is, and let's be honest with this, they've done the Tiger Force colors already. So they already know what it's going to look like in Tiger Force when they release it 3 years down the line, like they did his
True.
thing. So this is kind of like one of those things where it's like a Freudian slip, but they know what they're doing. So
Yeah.
they've showed a couple ones without the lights, one with the light up feature will also turn in. You can look on the dash and everything. Look, I do like the light up features on most of the GI Joe HasLabs. This one I did pass because we just had so many other things to do. I figured if I do purchase it, it'll be down the line. Everything. I did buy the Arctic Hiss tank, so chances are I'll make this purchase. But I still didn't think all the tiers, other than I'm sure Commander Bly will let you know. I only wanted it for the eggs and bacon in the pan.
Fish. Yeah,
But
you wanted the frying pan and the fish.
uh-huh. But again,
and you wanted the camping set too.
exactly. But I think they did a really great job with the look of this. It works. And again, I'm glad they're adding.
Fig Fury said straight up Tiger Force version.
Yeah. Oh no. Again. They know what they're doing. They say, what does it look like in this color? So we'll know when we do it. But look, I think it's I think anybody purchase it, great for you. I know you really enjoyed it. This is what you wanted.
But we'll buy it off you when you realize you didn't really want it.
Yeah, you'll go to the SoCal Joe show, and definitely, it won't be that hard to pick it up and everything. And Judge Dress said, you will see Snow Kitty again. Oh, they definitely, they don't do anything for just once and everything. And I love this Tiger Force. Don't tip me, Sir Alex Storm. Yeah, they're gonna do that, man. Come on.
Yeah.
So but hey, we're winding down the show because we're just the lead-in show for the Pixel Plastic Ink that takes place later tonight. But we thank everybody for popping in. We understand. There you go. Like I said,
Toys made it. What's good, everybody? What's good with you, man? Welcome in.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome
and
in.
also
Yeah.
make sure you're subscribing. We're just giving a speech. Make sure everybody subscribes, and also head over to our Discord. That's right. You want to jump on the fastest growing Discord out there, The Syndicate. The Syndicate is the actual network home of SKN, Sarlacc Digest Podcast, and Blitz Transmissions. That's right. And everything. Dark Mooch is flexing his badge right there. A member for 12 months. Like I said, there you go. Thank you, sir. Like I said, Dark Moocher, flex it too. Thank you, sir. But yeah, go over to the Discord. Make sure, again, in all your hot takes, everything that you think of in fandom, go over to the Discord. This is a service. One great benefit about it is a place for people to all enjoy their fandom, yet also they help one another. And if you go to the purchase links and you're looking for because I'll tell you this. I always have a hard time with Amazon links because God knows you can go on Amazon, you can search for it the day it's out, and you'll never find. It's like they have like a ghost system when it's there. I never miss a actual purchase order link because Scully and all the fine guys over there are dropping that in, and I'm able to get that. And that's how I did the actual for the classifieds this week. I just got the links from Amazon and directly went over there and was able to order it. Easy peasy. Yeah. Thank the family for that.
Big Fury says, later, gents, thanks for making my 5 minutes of freedom at work awesome. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. And it's like, yeah, it's all good from a central point of view. Absolutely. And it's like, let's see. It says the Barbie camp set was diabolical.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And there you go. It's like Sir Green Lantern, cool. Gotta clock in for work in 30 minutes. Love it when a plan comes together. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming in. I hope you make your day a little bit more enjoyable through it. It's always good when you talk toys in the morning or in the afternoon. So glad we're able to service that for you. But again, join the Discord. You can carry on this conversation once we're done. Go over there. You can hit us up. You can hit all the guys from the Starlight Digest podcast. Hit the Blitz Transmission. The conversation just keeps going. And also, you get a chance to put in all your, like, whether your collections collections, we love to see that there. Or you're into toy photography, it's all there. And also something to comic books and everything. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Right there, upcoming events. Where can I find you guys? Well, there's a couple of events coming up. You can find Scully and our buddies over at Sorlak Digest. You got Grand Admiral Franz, and you're going to have Dark Moocher that are all going to be at the WonderCon here. And like I said, I'll knock this out right quick because I saw that too. Flexing a member for 1 month. Frick Fury is still there. Go. There you go. There you go. The TD3 Trooper. Thank you, sir. But you can actually find us over at those three guys, Scully, Dark Moocher, and Grand Admiral Frets. They will be at WonderCon, and we're going to be actually getting them to rope them in to do some live remotes at the same time. So we're going to try to combine that cast because they will be there in Anaheim, California on the 27th through the 29th. We will be in Duluth, Georgia on the 27th through the 29th at Toy Atlanta. If you missed our Wednesday show, you missed a great show. We had Brett Barton, who is one of the fine guys that runs that convention. You had Kelly from Odd Frog, who's going to be there. He's our partner. He's going to be right next to us. That's always a fun time. And, of course, obviously, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. David Vonner was on. Great time for all. Make sure if you guys didn't see that, go back and watch the replay. There was an issue. There were 2 streams going, and I don't know what, YouTube and StreamYard linked up with one another. It was a mess, but there's 2 different ones, so you can watch this vertical or horizontal, whichever way, just if you want to catch that show out and let all know things. We will also tell you that there are still tickets available for Toy Atlanta. I don't know about the VIPs, but there is a good reason to purchase the VIP. If you can buy the VIP, then you can actually get Lieutenant Holiday, which is the Toy Atlanta exclusive figure designed by the guys over at Four Horsemen Studios. So if they're still up, check that. Go over to toyatlanta.net and check that out and see it's there. And, you can see you purchase that. So we're 2 coasts. So keep it here. If you can't be at the convention with us, you'll be there with us in spirit. And then on May 3rd, well, this is our Southern California home convention, the SoCal Joe Show and Toy Convention in Temecula, California. And we always do a live remote there. A lot of great guests that we have running through. So 2 great, basically 3 great shows. 2 of them that you and myself will be at. And then in spirit, but there's will be some member of the Syndicate Discord at either one of these. So then from there, we'll let you know that from Toy Atlanta and WonderCon, make sure you're tuning in to the Syndicate, the SKN YouTube channel, and the plasticnews.com. They'll be putting up some articles on that for the Toy Atlanta and WonderCon coverage. My dudes, you guys are killing it. Thanks so much. Thank you, TD3. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So make sure you're checking in that. But guess what? That's not the only thing. If you want to support, then you support us by getting us our 2026 convention exclusive apparel. Is right there from our partners over at holygrailtoys.com. And it's only for a limited time. It will only be up until the 29th of March. So if you've got some time to order it right there, they take all kind of forms of payment, so you don't have to worry about that. You got in front Masters of the Toy Box. On the back, it says SKN Live, Toy Atlanta 2026. We did a shirt last year that was a mask themed one, and every time I wear it, somebody else walks up to me and it's like, wow, man, that's a dope shirt and everything like that. But guess what? You can't get that shirt anymore because it was limited to last year. Same thing will happen this one. I'm looking forward to wearing this at Toy Atlanta. I know some other guys that are popping in will be wearing that as well. And also there's a big motu event with our buddy Mega J Retro here. And I can't wait to wear that down and have everybody like, where can I get that cool shirt? Oh, you can't get it anymore.
And if you want to see what it looks like,
there you go.
Masters of the Toy Box.
There you go.
SKN Live.
There you go. So make sure you guys, if you guys are checking that out on the fence or something, get it because it's kind of cool and everything. And TD3 did say he did order his. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can't wait to see it on you, man. They actually snap some pictures too. If you guys can pick up the shirt, snap some pictures, send it over to us. We'll actually put that up as well.
Feature you on our Instagram.
There you go. Also, Same Time Toy said awesome shirt right there. There is a link in the description, sir, too. So if you want to pick it up, you got right a chance to do that. Toy Atlanta. One other actual thing that we actually were speaking to Brett about on the show is that there's an app out there called Toy Hunter. You know, we're talking about it. It's the greatest app for a toy collector that you'll need, but it's not just for toy collect. It's a toy collector lifestyle app. All the thing, it just doesn't track your collections. It helps you actually get your collections, and at the same time, it gives you events that you can go to help you expand or get some other items for that. So it's all right there. It's all encompassing. It's not just an app. It is a toy collector lifestyle app. You will use this every day. I do. And the one thing I love about the feature is that I can put my entire collection in there, and it actually gives me an estimated value of what that collection actually is. So sometimes you think you're just collecting toys. What is it? You know, is there a reason, a rhyme or reason for it? And then you see the amount that you amass is like, wow, that actually is worth me actually time putting in there. And it's easy to put it in there too, right, Chet?
Yeah, it's super easy. There's a section in there under your search that you can click on that's called Toy Hub. And they right now have over 3,800 different figures and lines.
Wow.
And if you have the entire line of something, you can actually add all of them at once into one collection. And something that's interesting about Toy Hunter, about collections, is that there's a lot of people that insure their collections.
Yeah,
So
sure.
once you actually have your collection in there and you need to give your insurance company or whatever a document, you can actually export your entire collection or each collection individually as an Excel sheet or Google sheet, and then it'll have all the values in there.
Wow.
And there's and so look, they're always updating, they're always making changes. The radar is the feature for conventions. There's over 270 conventions listed in there. You can track what's going on in the convention. If it's lacking data, it's because the convention centers haven't gone back to them. So Atlanta's pretty fully stacked. WonderCon's pretty fully stacked. It is literally a lifestyle app for collectors. And what's interesting is we've heard that people are using it to track collections that aren't just toys. So
Okay.
so there's a need and some responses that they've been getting about enabling it to collect things other than toys, which I think is a whole different ball game. I don't know if they're there yet. This is a love letter to the industry that they're part of. So
Yeah.
it's a very cool app, man. And I did get word that they're just waiting on the review for it to be actually live on Google Play. Right now, it's live on Apple's App Store. Google Play, you can join the wait list. They'll send you a link. You can download it and test it that way. But yeah, just waiting for the approval from Google. So,
well, make sure you head over to toyhunter.com, or if you're on the iOS, over at the Apple Store, you can go on and just download it. And again, wait time right there is all right there on the screen. But yeah, Toy Hunter, it will not just, let's put it like this, it will change your collecting life. Toy Hunter, get it. And they've given us a bunch of free stickers to pass out at Toy Atlanta too. So that's kind of cool too. So yeah,
that's what those look like.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking my free sticker too. So yeah, actually it's pretty cool. Yep. So we'll definitely, so make sure you get a little Toy Hunter in your life and everything, and keep your collection organized and stay ahead of the curve. From there, yeah, again, this is the lead-in show. Tonight, Pixel Plastic Inc., 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is you'll see myself and Mr. Maddox, and we'll be joined by obviously Rad, and then 100% Dr. Brentley, who's in the chat. We're there. We're going to talk about all things Walmart Collectors Con. And by the time we start tonight, that event will be over. We will know what was the buys and what was the bust, and how we can rate it the first part of this 2026 Walmart collector experience. If you watched us last year, the 2025 did not get an A grading. So we will see how this one works itself. We also got our favorite segment. Yes, that's right. It's going to be a lot of toy-centric stuff tonight, but pre-order Mafia is coming on. So what sleeps with the fishes and what gets to be a made figure? Well, you're going to have to find out tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And obviously, plastic news on SKN. Is there any popcorn buckets or anything crazy? Well, you got to tune in to find out. And one new one that we'll do, I know you're watching us. You can watch us on the Toy Chest on Mondays. You watch Toy Box Chronicles on Wednesday. Then you watch the Starlight Digest podcast. Then you jump on Friday mornings here on Good Morning Toy Box and Pixel Plastic Inc. But we felt like that's just not enough fandom. We had to go more. And guess what? We roped in one of the best guys out there for a love that myself, you, and its chat has. is that it's the Energon universe. If you're not reading that, you should be, because Skybound is tearing it up and everything. But guess what? That shared universe just didn't start there with Robert Kirkman. There's always been a shared universe. And we're going to discuss that on the Energon War Room. And here's the best part. If you haven't read the series, yes, there will be spoilers, but it may make you want to go out and get it. We're pushing people to go to a physical comic book store, pick up these things, whether you're starting there right now at issue 30 of Transformers, or you've been there from Void Rivals and everything. I can't help but to track my W's, because I have all I have is wins.
Because all I do is win. Yeah. It does. It tracks W's, Commander Boy.
It does.
You know
but this one interesting too. We decided it is pure collaboration. It will be simulcast on both YouTube. So if you're a fan of his, Chad, you can watch on his channel. You can keep supporting him. If you're a fan of ours, you can watch his own channel, support us. However you get into us, you get into us. But it's one of those universes that begs to be read. Robert Kirkman and his team over at Skybound is doing a great job. The main purpose of this show is to get some of these companies to do an actual toy line, because if you watch It's Chad did a video, a car rant that's up on his YouTube channel that dropped in this morning. And the one aspect that he was saying, he was watching War Machine. War Machine. Yeah, War Machine. There you go. Netflix show. Great movie if you haven't watched it. And he was like, that was the perfect entryway that you could have done the Energon universe with possibly Duke and another, like the Transformer, and it would have made sense. And he was absolutely right. It's a great movie. But that's going to take place at 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, it's myself, Mr. Maddox, and it's Chad. And we're going to talk about all things Transformers, G.I. Joe, and now Mask. That's right. Mask. Man,
and if you're in the New Mexico area, it is 2 p.m. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think what's that? That's not Central Time. What's that called? Mountain Time?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. We're just trying to figure it out.
I only pay attention to different coasts. Like I'm good.
Yeah, but looking forward to this one, man. We've been prepping this for a while behind the scenes. It's kind of cool that we were able to pull this off and everything. But I'm looking forward to it, man. And read the books. If you haven't, hey, man, you got some time, stop in a comic store on the way home. Pick up some of those books. Ask them, hey, I need some Energon books. Believe me, the comic book stores would be more than happy to help you.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we're rolling in. Hey, I got to get things ready for tonight, brother. Anything else we're missing? Are we ready to go?
There's a lot we're missing, but fortunately for you, it's all available tonight on Pixel Plastic Inc. At 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Eastern. So I'm excited about it. Hey, man, it has been fun doing the weekend review with you, Mr. Alexander Thunderous Storm. A quick, huge, massive shout out to all of our members, the Shadow Elite, the Syndicate, the Prospects. You know who you are. We appreciate you. Without you, well, there just wouldn't be a reason to do a show. So, look, thank you all for hanging out with us. We know we went long. It's been an hour and 38 minutes of the best time of your life. We can't thank you enough for hanging out. But for Alexander Thunderstorm and myself, the lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, thank you. Keep chasing that plastic dragon, and we will see you tonight on Pixel Plastic Inc. That's the J for, anyways. Anyways, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey,